Bullying does not stop with kids. Sometimes it shows up in businesses. Today, we're talking about business to business bullying when competition turns into intimidation. We'll get into it after I hit this music. Joining me this week is my friend, Dr. Kimberly Boynton. She is a psychologist and an entrepreneur of many businesses. Dr. Kim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
Anyways, Kim, you sent me an email a couple weeks ago telling me about a business you run and you're getting bullied. And I'm like, I'm interested in that because I've been in business for almost 10 years and I never had my competitors try to bully me. The worst that they've done was complain about my Google reviews on Reddit. So it's like, yeah, they were. One of my competitors posted a Reddit review in my local town complaining that I have 110 Google reviews are all 5 stars, and they're not happy about that. Well, now it's 114, so sorry. But that's the worst I've ever experienced in business, which is comical. But apparently, what you're going through is not comical. So let's start by telling us what you do.
Well, you'll have 115 stars when I get done. So there you go. They
You
complained about
haven't,
one
you
more.
haven't, you haven't gave me a Google review yet. My business? I swore I asked you a long time ago.
I think I did. So maybe. So then I guess I contributed to your bullying of those stars. So there we go. So
There you go. Well, you better double
yeah.
check after this podcast is done. All right.
Yeah. I'm
Anyways,
going to have
about
to
you
look now.
now. Tell us what
Yeah.
you do and what's going on.
So I own a few companies, as you'd mentioned. I own a magazine company. I own a production company. As you know, I'm in the film industry as well. I own a performing arts theater company or performing arts academy. I'm a psychologist, so I own a health and wellness center. So I do own a variety of businesses. And I feel like, you've been doing this podcast about bullying. And in my mind, when I think bullying, I think, kids right away, like kids being bullied at school or, social media bullying. But it didn't really hit me until I've been going through this for the last year now that I'm being bullied in my own company, through social media, through word of mouth. And I would say since June, it's really damaged my company, which is disheartening to me because I've owned this company and this company's been successfully running for over 2 decades now. So for one person, which led to multiple groups of people that have been slandering my company and not even myself, but my company alone. And it's affecting my business and obviously financially. It's bullying.
How did this start out? Like when did you start recognizing like, hey, something's not right here?
My performing arts company. So we did a production last June and it was monetary wise the best production we've ever done. We always do great productions, but this one was over the top great. Great cast, great turnout. So like overall, this was one of our best productions, over the last couple of decades that we've done. For me, it was a little bit different. I think we talked about we were going to do an episode on this because, funny enough, this particular production is about bullying. And it's almost like along the same lines as like Mean Girls and things like that. So from this production, there was a few cast members that we ended up having to let go for, inappropriate behavior or, one thing or another. And this particular cast member happened to, we had our opening night on a Thursday night, and that was our leads. We had our leads and we had our understudies. And so the understudies on the Friday night, they got a standing ovation as they should have. They were fabulous. Um, and so was the leads. But that particular night, the understudies got a standing ovation and, that was well deserved. You have to think about it like when you're doing theater, you're inviting your friends, you're inviting your family. So naturally, if that particular cast, and I'm not saying that's what happened, but if that particular cast had more attendance that night, then they got the results and they got, the applause, but they were fabulous. And again, both casts were fabulous. This one particular cast member was overheard and it was brought to my attention by a few different people not even in the cast, from audience members, from our volunteer members, from so it was just, different people that weren't even related to each other or even know each other for that matter, that the particular lead was bashing her cast members and jealous because they got a standing ovation and saying, "Oh, well, they're not as good as we are. You should come back tomorrow," kind of stuff. So again, few different people bringing this to my attention. So I took it to our board of directors, and this particular person was already on probation anyway for something else that had happened throughout the season. Um, and our board members decided, yeah, no, we need to let her go. That's just, it's not cool at all that you're bashing your cast members, let alone your understudy. That's playing your role. That's just not fair. So we ended up letting her go. And the person happened to be a daughter of a competitor. And I don't really like to say competitor because I don't feel we should all be competitors out here. I feel we should be working together because we share cast members, like same people audition for my shows that audition for other people's shows. So I've never seen it as a competition, but for whatever reason, since I've moved out here and the particular area I'm in, they're very competitive out here. So anyway, long story short, happened to be the daughter of a mom that works for another production company, another theater company. And this started when we started putting out over social media, auditions for our next show. So I had one particular individual comment on there, make a comment, questioning, our like who's putting this production on and is this even licensed? And, just a lot of questions that made me question like, we are, but, answering his questions, like, but although I don't know why this is being questioned. And then from there, a lot of other people, now mind you, I don't even know these people or most of the directors out here, just all of a sudden, slamming me on social media. I was in a rehearsal, and so one of my friends texted me, asked me, "Hey, what's going on social media?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I'm in rehearsal. What are you talking about?" So I go on there, and there's this plethora of people just slamming us left and right, saying, "Don't be part of their production. Don't do this. They kick people out. This is what's happened. This." It was so much, Tim. I didn't even finish reading all of it. I just looked at it. I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I just deleted the post because I'm like, I didn't have time to read it, first of all. But this has been going on. And now, fast forwarding into our new season, happened again. Same individual uh, target us again when we're putting out, for auditions again for our musicals. And to back up, last season over this, we lost our theater company that we were working with because we rent out, different theaters out here. And this particular theater company ended up canceling our shows and ghosting us. So it left us in the middle of two productions and we had nowhere to go. We had nowhere to perform. These kids or these young adults have been, and we were in the middle of two productions at the time because we did a kids and adult. We had nowhere to go. So I'm scrambling around, stressing out about this, trying to figure out where we're going to do it at. And so luckily, one of my best friends, Mr. James, owns his own, facility. So we ended up having to move it over there, which was a big inconvenience for a couple of reasons because it's not a theater. James had put a lot of money into helping it become what we needed in the sense of like production wise and, buying speakers and, you know, uh, video walls and, things like that, just so we could make this production happen for these kids. So overall, we lost between those two productions a good $20,000 between two productions last year.
Wow.
And it was really disheartening. It hit us financially, obviously. And then now, again, fast forwarding to the new season, it's happening again. But the funny thing about this is these particular individuals have never been to our production, never seen anything that we do, don't even know me, yet none of them have came to me. They go to my cast members and ask questions. They go to, other, people that they know that have nothing to do with this, but none of them have came to me. And every one of them has referred back to these individuals and said, "Hey, if you have any more questions, please direct them to the owner, myself." Nobody's ever came to me. Now, mind you, this has been going on a year. Nobody's ever came to me to ask me anything, but it's cost me a lot because they're going to the licensing companies now, turning me in for everything that there's nothing to turn me in for, but they're just nitpicking now just to make it really hard to even want to advertise anything on social media. And again, that's where we get all of our people from. But it's significantly hurt our business to where even we have page ad or what do you call them, page admins or whatever that run the Facebook group pages
Yeah.
has even had to make a post saying, "Hey, keep the drama on the stage," because she's even getting slammed with, "Hey, don't post, our stuff and don't post, don't promote their things and whatever." The funny thing about it is her son and herself are in my production. So, I've given proof for everything that everybody needs, but they're just literally making our whole business and my whole life like a living hell now just because, they're just targeting my business now.
So there's a lot of drama and drama.
Oh, yeah. The
That's
drama is
crazy. And
very
it all
rarely
started from us. So it all started because someone did not get a standing ovation.
pretty much, yeah.
That's being kind of dramatic. There's so
Yeah,
many
to say
puns
the
we can
least.
make with
No pun
this
intended, but
story.
yeah.
No pun intended, drama. So it started with a cast member. Is it still the same cast member, former cast member, I should say, doing this now, or did it carry over to somebody else targeting you?
Well, it's carried
Or
over. It's carried over from that particular individual, her boyfriend happened to be in one of our productions, the very first production that we did when we first moved out to this city. And of course, I mean, he's going to stick up for his girlfriend, and I get that. But the biggest thing with me, and I will always stand by this, is I will always protect my cast members, and that's my job.
Mhm.
Safety comes first, and this particular individual was taking videos of our rehearsal stuff and again, without permission, posting it on her social media without her cast members' permission. And they were running around in their underwear because that was part of the scene. But if you know anything about licensing, you can't put stuff like that on social media. And you can't even put stuff like any type of nudity or anything like that without the other person's permission on there. So we didn't even get rid of this particular individual for that. We put her on probation for that. But then the last thing that I was talking about with her bashing her cast members and everything, that's why we got rid of her. So she had ample opportunity to still be able to be in the production. But yeah, it's trickled over from her to other cast members to people, like I said, the people that are bashing us, not even affiliated with us. It's just going off of hearsay from, whoever else is saying stuff. And again, these people and this one particular person that's doing it in general literally has said on social media, and it's still on there, I've never been to their production. I don't know anything about them, but this is what I'm hearing. Okay, well, if you have questions about that, come to me directly so I can, at least explain my side of things. But don't go on here and start bashing my company when you don't know anything about it. You don't even know if these rumors are even true, and you never heard my side of what things were. But he's just putting it out there, and then now he's going to Mr. James, he's our VP for our company, and he's producing one of our plays and going after him now, going after his company and messaging him. So it's just going down the line now where it's just gotten really out of control.
How is his company getting involved? Just because he's helping out your company?
You talk about Mr. James? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is because he's the producer for our show. And so because his company's on there, now they're messaging him again, not coming to me. Why are you
So
going to the person that's producing our company, not coming to the source?
so the person that's now attacking you online, do they own a company as well? Is it so? Well, obviously they must because that's what the opening of the podcast episode was. So what I'm trying to wrap my head around is why would another company openly attack their, I guess I don't know if it's called competition, and I mean, I guess I would call it competition. Let's say competition. Why would they attack their competition openly on social media? Because doesn't that look bad for that company? I mean, I kind of go back to like the reason why that person for my business, the reason why that person used Reddit because they didn't want to be known. You know, you don't if you're going to go bash a company, you don't want to be like tied to the competitor because that makes your business look bad. And what I'm talking about for my company for Reddit, That was more of a laughable thing, not really bullying. It's just like, really, I'm getting to you. That's funny. That's not bullying. That's just comical. But they go on Reddit though to say that type of stuff because it hides their identity.
Right.
So, what I'm trying to figure out is, do you know, like, is it really for sure this guy that owns a business is actually doing it? Because to me, that sounds like you're committing business suicide with your own business because that's going to make your company look bad. If you kind of step back and look at that, it's like, drama. I'm not into drama, but you think, your whole goal for drama is you're teaching kids confidence as well, just like martial arts. You just don't do that type of stuff.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. So it's kind of funny because, like I said, I've only been over here on this in this area for the last 3 years. And funny thing about that is the very first time we moved over here and moved the business over this direction, I had one of my cast members' mom come to me and give me the whole rundown on the IE because she's been, out here for many, many, many years and kind of give me the scoop on all these companies. And I've heard it through, other people or whatever, the history of the theater companies out here, and they all work together. So if you kind of think of it as like, I like to say like the gentleman's club of stuff, where like you got this director, this director, this director, this director, and they've all worked together at some point in time throughout the years or collaborated together, as it should be, working together to some type of degree or whatever. Everybody knows each other. So here's this newbie coming in, and I'm not new, I'm just new to the area. My company's not
Yeah.
new, but then all of a sudden, these companies who have been here for, I would say, probably maybe around the same length of time in one area, they all knew each other. They all performed together. They've all done something together. So I'm the newbie coming in. And what I've heard, from multiple sources is that this person is known to do that and known to shut other people's companies down, which I know one of the individuals firsthand who they have this individual go out of business and did the same thing to her. So I guess I'm not the first most hated company
So
out here, which is great. But
can't can't you get a lawyer involved? Because it sounds like defamation.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure to some degree I could if I want to. For me, it's not worth
Okay.
it for me because one, that's time, it's money.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, I'm just gonna work with the kids because it doesn't affect the kids. What it affects is like our young adults productions
Yeah.
because they're the ones that are on social media reading the audition things, not the kids. So I have a good network and I have a good system. I have a really good uh whatever with my kids, but my daughter is the one doing this next production for the young adults and it's really hurting her production. So the one that I'm doing with
Okay.
all kids, because I've chosen to just walk away from it. I'm like, I'm not doing any more young adult, productions. I'm walking away from that, and just sticking with my kids. And so we're fine. But hers, I'm watching, and this is her first time directing, and she grew up
But it's
with
still
us
your
and the
business
company's
though.
it's still my
Yeah, but
business,
it's
yeah,
still
and it hurts
yeah.
me for her because this is her first time stepping out into, at some point, I'm grooming her to take over the company, and for her first production, it's hard for her, and so she's coming to me, and it really hurt me the other day. I don't think I got a chance to tell you this, but it hurt me because she came to me and broke down and started crying. And she's like, "Mom, I'm trying. I don't know what else to do." And I'm like, "I know." I said, "I'm trying too." We put it out into the
Yeah.
schools. We've done everything,
So
but one of our cast members that is in her production, who's been with us for a while and who also works and does, other things for these other companies, has literally came and told us that these particular people are literally telling their people, "Do not audition for us. Do not come work with us." So now behind the scenes that's what we're hearing, and then even one of our page admins has even told us that they're coming to her, telling her, "Stay away from us, don't promote us, don't put us on her Facebook page." So, we're hearing it from multiple people behind the scenes what's going on, and like I said, again, yes, it's damaging, for my company, but more
yeah.
so, it's damaging for my daughter because that's not fair to her that this is her first production that she's doing and people are doing this.
Okay, so to kinda clear things up, you went into, like, a territory of drama clubs in your
Yeah.
area, and then the people who kinda control that area don't want you there because you're taking away business from them. So they're gonna do by whatever they can to kick you out of there. It's like some straight up mob stuff. But what I would do, because Kim, I known you for a couple years now, and you have connections that I'm pretty sure they don't even come close to having. And what I
Yeah.
would do is you have a connections to like major studio executives out in LA. I would ask them for some reviews on your business and say, "Hey, can I put your title on there? Like, this is so and so from I don't know, Warner Brothers. I recommend this arts academy because it does this, this, and this for kids, whatever." I mean, I would start flooding social media with that. I mean, you have connections. You gotta start using those connections to get some positive information out there. But only if you could at least, say, "Hey, this is someone from Paramount Pictures. I see what Kim does with kids. This is great." You need something like that, I think. Moving forward, though, you got this company in in town. Like, how big is your community? Because I don't know what when I think of LA area, I think of tens of millions of people. I mean, it's like you gotta be like a blip on someone's radar, but it can't be that bad. Like, how big is
Well,
your
and the
community
thing
you're
about
in?
it is, like, because 'cause I'm in a different county, so, like, if you're in the LA County, it's different, and like I said, we originated in Las Vegas in 2004 at 3 locations out there. Now, mind you, if I was doing something wrong, I mean, I've been operating with the same company for 2 decades. I would think like within 2, little over 2 decades, this would have happened a long time ago, and it's never happened until I moved over here. So, it's literally the funny thing about this is I'm in Riverside County, and the 91 freeway is kinda like the what I call, like, this side of the freeway, that side of the freeway. So, when I moved over here a couple years ago, my company was on the other side of the freeway. It was still same county, but we did great. Like, everything was fine over there. And the funny thing is, like, it was my idea to move on this side of the freeway because, again, I didn't know any history about any of the other theater companies over here. So I was the one that kept saying, "Hey, let's move on this side of the freeway. I think we need more theaters this way, this way." And sure enough, when I went over to the community center where we're teaching through, they're like, "Oh, we've had this, need for musical theater, for so many years, and nobody, whatever." So I'm like, "Cool," So I came over here. Nope. Like, this was just not the area, but I was the one who really wanted to come over here. But yeah, going back to your question is, when I was in the LA area, in the LA County area, I mean, I could go back to the LA County area right now and have no issues, have a ton of support. And I have noticed the difference from when my businesses were in LA and Las Vegas. I had community support. So people who didn't have anybody in the play that they knew were coming out and watching it. Just like if you didn't know anybody and you just like, hey, let's go to a musical. Oh, this one's doing it. Let's go. We don't have that support over here at all. When I was in Las Vegas, every production we did, the mayor of Las Vegas at that time would send one of his representatives out there for our show. But we always had community support. And I am the only company over here that does not have the community support. Um, yeah, and the thing about it is we only have so many theaters out here, and when you have a lot of theater companies and, not even taken away from or not even including the dance companies and the other people who are trying to rent theater space or auditorium space out here, we're very limited on that. So we've only been able to use 2 theaters in where I'm at. And so now being blackballed from this one particular theater because of these individuals, we're subjected to this one use of this theater, which just myself and 2 other theater companies are using this. So imagine in a calendar year trying to book, shows. Last year we produced 7 shows. That was a lot for us. This year we're not doing that many, but there's no way we can get 7 shows even if we wanted to in this particular venue because there's too many people trying to get it. So there's not even enough theaters out here to hold the amount
Wow.
of, you know, people that want to utilize the venues. So now I'm looking outside and going back to another county just to find venue space because we need venue space for otherwise I've got 2 shows this year and that's really going to kill us financially too now.
So theater must be huge out in your area because where I'm from in this middle of cornfields, Mankato is like no one cares about theater. I mean, I should say no one cares about theater. I mean, that's just my perspective. Like, 'cause I don't see theater companies anywheres in my town. I think there's one playhouse and that's it. But and then
Yeah.
whatever at the college, but there's nothing here as far as that. So, I guess wow, that's just I never even heard of, like, drama having drama, like, you think you guys should all be working together because the people who don't get picked for the auditions, they could go to your company or they can go somewhere else. It's like you think you'd all
Oh,
work
yeah.
together. Like what's I mean, you can't have every single person because you only have so many roles. What's the problem here? So
Yeah, and that is
it
the
is
thing is that there's so many auditions going on that literally you can audition for one show after the other, after the other, after the other, which is what, the people are doing, but they're not coming to mine anymore. So they're all trying to get into all these other ones, and then if they don't get it,
yeah.
well, then, and
Do
one of the
you
biggest things too with
so
us is we've given people who will never get, an opportunity to be a lead in some of these other companies have had the lead positions in these particular productions that we've done. So I'm all about like I'm not about, oh, just because you're good, you're going to get the lead in all my productions, which is what a lot of the companies do. I don't do that. I believe in giving everybody a chance. So like I said, there's a lot of people who've been leads in my company that will go and audition for the same exact show or go audition for similar shows and they get ensemble. Not saying that ensemble's,
mhm.
not, relevant to it. It is, but they're not gonna be leads in any other company, and
So
they have the opportunity here to
yeah.
do it.
So what I would do besides you have a few choices, and if this is my business, what I would do is either just one, just say screw it, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Or 2, does any of that other company's kids ever make it on television screen like yours has?
No.
You gotta promote that. You have to promote all the stuff that you guys offer or can get your students in front of versus what they can't do. You know the executives, you yourself, you know who's casting for movies, you've been on some of those movies. You gotta use everything you have to your advantage, and you gotta start showing off that. I would use all my resources and highlight, "Hey, we have a kid who just appeared on his first film." I can't remember what film that was. You went out to that red carpet event was back in October. Promote that. You have one of your kids who played PG-13 in a wrestling event. I mean, these kids are getting opportunities outside your your performance arts academy. You need to start showcasing that stuff because that guy can't do it, but you can. And that's
Yeah.
how I would do it.
Yeah, and I do. I have a lot of kids that I mean, even
But
just
you
going
gotta
back
do it
to the
more.
last
You
geez,
gotta
I
do it
know,
more. You gotta keep posting and make that you gotta do it more. 'Cause that's what
yeah.
parents want. They want their kids, you know, I'm sure a lot of parents are, "Oh, I want my kids to make it on television screen, I want them to do this stuff." Well, just come to my school. This is how we do it. I have these people. I have these connections. I mean, I met you a couple years ago, and look who's already in my I mean, I've met so many celebrities from you. It's not even funny. It's like these are like A-list celebrities too, by the way. These aren't just from people. I mean, it's like you have these connections. You need to start using them, especially if you're going to get attacked. I think some people would understand if you reached out to them. And it
Well,
doesn't have to be a direct
here's
attack with saying, I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be a direct, don't direct attack them, but use it for like, this is what sets my business apart from their business. And they
yeah,
can scream at you all they want. They're going to do that anyways. You can't fix how they feel. Obviously, if they're attacking you, they're not doing well either. They're in trouble as well because if if they're doing really well, who cares about what you're doing? They're doing just fine. So usually people only attack if something's going on in their business. Their business is not doing that good. So I would just amplify my business even more and saying, "Well, hey, congratulations to this kid for his first red carpet experience to this movie, whatever it may be." I mean, start just blasting that because it for you it
yeah,
works.
you're right. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I guess I felt like because I used to do that because like I said, I mean, even going back to my Las Vegas days, one of my students that I had, and I got her when she was 5 years old, went on to become she was Miss Nevada. And we're talking about a shy little girl that came in that was like, whatever kind of a thing and just blossoming. And I have a lot of stories of a lot of my kids that I've had from the time they were little and have went somewhere. And it's funny that you said that because literally during that particular production, Gary, as you know, my producer, who's very well known too, he was the one who shot our trailer And the funny thing about that is the cast was still complaining about it. It still wasn't good enough for them. He even offered them movie roles,
That
and
trailer
a
looked
couple,
amazing.
yeah, and but they actually did, a couple of them did his movie roles, but they're still the ones bashing us. I'm like, wow. I'm like, but you weren't bashing me, when you got this opportunity given to you and you jumped on that, but here you are,
That's
now.
yep, that's on them, that's on them. I would just showcase the people that are thankful. I mean, because that's them, they have to change, they probably won't, fine.
Yeah.
You still got the connections, they don't. You got them the opportunities, they didn't. I mean, sometimes to get those opportunities, they have to go through you. You don't have to refer them to anything. Um, I remember there's one social media influencer that we both know, I'm not gonna say the person's name, but they wanted to meet a certain person that you met to me as well, but she has to go through you to get it, and, it's like, you got that control. If no, just back up, that influencer is not we're not talking about that person, I'm just giving you an example, she's a good person. Um, anyways, but start advertising, start promoting what you offer that they can offer. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna be able to come I mean, I should say that's the only way you're gonna combat it. That's the only way I could think of right now. I'm sure other people could have a bit better ideas as well, but running a martial arts school, if someone started attacking my business, I mean, I can't do anything about Google reviews complaints. That's more of a thank you. You're noticing. That's awesome. Um, but I say if someone's attacking my business, I would step up more on sharing stories about all the good works I've done with kids. I would have done it, which I should be doing right now anyways, but I'm running a nonprofit and my business at the same time right now. It's not, and I don't have employees anymore because the state makes it hard to have employees these days. So I don't have much time on social
You're not
media as
gonna
I
run a
used to.
daycare?
Oh gosh,
You don't
I
wanna
thought
open
about
a
some
daycare?
days when you're hard up for money, maybe I should run a date. No, I can never do it. I have a daycare pretty much. I have 5 girls at my house. I have a
I know.
daycare.
You have your own daycare, like, literally.
Exactly. So, Kim, if anybody is going through the situation that you are right now, I guess you're kind of navigating the waters right now. But what would you say to someone else going through this
Well, definitely, keep your head above water
as
and
a
be the
therapist
per
perspective?
Yeah, from a therapist perspective, it's definitely, not attacking back because the first thing that we think of is, okay, what can I do to strike back? Or, especially when I see this stuff, I've never once commented on any of their stuff, even though I want to respond back and like, say a bunch of stuff. And, there's stuff I know about their company that I could strike back with. So I just keep my composure and I figured like at some point it'll all boil over. And I was hoping like, okay, this is a new year, new start, everybody, it's kind of, it's kind of like rumors, like, rumors are rumors until the next one comes along, kind of a thing. But clearly that's not happening. So I don't strike back. I figure it'll all work itself out in the end. And I don't, at the end, it's not them I have to answer to. It's the people they're calling, to try to get me in
Mhm.
trouble with. And if I'm not doing anything wrong, then I think the biggest revenge is that I'm successful still and they couldn't take me down. And that's the biggest thing because it'd be easy for me to say,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I can close my company, start another company, do this, do whatever. But I'm not running from it because I'm not doing anything wrong. So I'm going to be successful like I have been for the last, 20 years. And I think for me, that's going to be my biggest so called, source of, hey,
Yeah.
sticking it to the man kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, and the one advice I got from a good friend, my late friend Eric, he told me, "When you're on top, you have no reason to attack anybody because 'cause you've already made it." The people who, he didn't say this part, but, the people who are on the bottom view you as a threat, they wanna knock you off. It's kinda like King of the Mountain. You wanna be the king because once you 'cause if you ever play the game King of the Mountain, you're not the one going out there trying to push people off the hill because you don't wanna lose that spot either, so you wanna play it cool and stand your ground as best as possible. The other people are trying to knock you off the hill. That's kinda what this guy is doing, and if it makes you feel any better, his business is must be suffering because otherwise, why waste his time and energy? Um, But I would
Yeah,
start
it's just a lot.
focusing just focus more on your social media presence. I would highlight more about all the good things that came out, all the success stories. Definitely highlight the red carpet event you went to at, in LA. I can't remember where it was at, some theater by West Hollywood area. Uh, Gotta highlight that stuff. Buy the Blu-ray disc of one of our students or a couple of our students are in this movie. Buy the disc, whatever. So promote all the positives because they're probably not doing it anyways. So you might as well take a
Yeah.
step up. You know,
Oh, no, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, we do offer a lot more than what they're doing because 'cause they're just running productions where, just auditioning for shows and that's it. They're not doing, classes, like what we are, where I'm doing classes. Like, even with the production that we're doing right now with my kids, I told them yesterday, it was the first day of rehearsal. I told them all, "We're not even touching the script for the first 2 months because we're gonna work on, self-confidence. We're gonna work on, character building." So there's a lot of things that we're doing before we even touch the script because I feel a lot of it is helping them with their self-confidence, and that's what I love about what I do is watching the self-confidence, grow from the kids and taking somebody who walks in that's like, the shy, "Oh my god, I don't wanna speak to anybody." And funny thing about this, and you and I both know this person, and my magazine, I can go back to when I had this person on my cover scene, and she's very well known, and I remember doing her photo shoot and the first day, her coming in and sitting in this little chair, in the hotel room and, nervous. And then by the end of the day, next thing you know, she's like, working with, bigger names and things now. And now she's out there like making a name for herself, starting her own company. But this was somebody who still, regardless what her name was, came in really shy. And she literally told us, she goes, "If it wasn't for you and your team, making me feel welcome," she said, "I would have been, I probably wouldn't have been like this." And
you need to get that. You need to get that on quote and yeah, share that. That's what you need to do.
yeah,
You need to get that on quote or just say, "Hey, I'm gonna say this. Put your picture on there. Are you cool with it? Yes or no?" And just do it yourself because she's probably too busy to do all that. But you can
yeah,
still,
yeah,
as long as you got that, you can do it.
we know.
Uh, I would, yeah. I mean, the good news is how I would look at this as, hey, I'm on my way to be successful. There's a guy I'm affecting. I obviously I'm hurting his business, which I'm not intending to do. What he should be doing instead of attacking you is he should be doing what you have to do now is proving why his business is better than yours, like showcasing all the good things that they've been doing instead of wasting your time trying to attack a business because at the end you're the one looking even worse. Um, so, so now you have to do it. Well, you have to do it. You're kind of being forced to do it right now
Right.
too,
Yeah.
but which is good. But you should be doing that anyways, and I should be doing that with my business right now anyways. But I had no fire underneath me to get me to do it. I'm like, well, I'm doing. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that right now. But maybe one of your people on your board, you said you had a board, have them be your social media person. There's got to be some young kid who knows to do cool things with it. I know people. Have them take over social media and say, "Hey, I need a post every day about this and this. Heck, you can even chat GPT. Write me a social media posting schedule for the next 30 days, and then give it to your kid and say, "Hey, do that." You know,
Right.
tell what you want.
Yeah.
You want a personal story. You want share some wins from you want to share wins. You want to highlight the confidence of what you do, what you teach kids. It's more than just teaching kids how to act. It's how to become, well, one, how to have confidence. You don't need to learn martial arts to be confident. There's other ways to do it. And the biggest thing that people are scared of is public speaking, in which you guys tackle. I mean, you got to promote all that stuff. Um, I mean, I think
Right.
you're fine. I think you're good. It's just being on this side right now stinks. Um, but what
Yeah.
I'm hearing is this
No, and
guy,
you're right.
you're
I
obviously a
agree.
threat, and he's spending. I mean, he's actually spending precious time to attack you when he should be focusing on his own business. I mean, So don't attack back and focus on your business and reach out to some of your people that you know and just say, "Hey, I have this. Can you give me a recommendation?" That's all. I mean, you're not having them go on video or screen. I just want a recommendation, a post. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, and yeah, I have thought about it, and that you were gonna do that in the past. In fact, I think we did do a couple of them, like, excuse me, like a few years ago when we were doing, like, some movie stuff. And have we used to have guest speakers come in and talk to the kids, as well too. That's I just need to go back to, kind of doing that again. Um,
you
like I
have to
said, we
now.
were flourishing, without having
Yeah.
to, do all this up until now. So it's like, wow, like okay, it's to the point where I've made my business Facebook and Instagrams private now, just because like I don't know who's who anymore. Like I don't know who
Yeah.
is getting information because they're literally getting stuff off of social media and just sending them out to like people. And I'm like, and I've weeded out a lot of people. So there's still probably insiders, that I don't even know about that are, feeding information and stuff. But again, it's not like it's wrong information. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's just gotten to that point where I
And
shouldn't even have to have my business page blocked.
exactly. But what these people aren't realizing what they're doing is they're making you make your business look better because you have to, which you should be doing anyways. But now you have to work a little harder at your business. You can't get comfortable. That's why competition in business is good. They always say competition is good because if I was the only martial arts school in Mankato, you think I would work as hard to get students? Probably. To be honest with myself, probably not. Because why? I have
Right.
no competition. But I have competition.
Exactly.
I have to give it all every single day on the mats. I have to do my best. I have to, you have to be careful what you say. You can't get into politics. Even though I ran for school board, where it should have been political. Um, you have to be at your best behavior, and you can't pick sides. And you just have to keep promoting your students you work with. So when they come attack you, they're like, "What are you talking about?" I mean, so it makes them look stupid at the end. So, I mean, as a friend, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, obviously, you're a threat, which is good. I mean, like when I saw my Reddit post, was I upset that day? I was kind of pissed. I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed. But then when you think back to it, it's like, wow, for the first time in my life, somebody thinks I'm better at them in business, and I had no education in business at all. I just hired some
Yeah.
coaches. I learned from other people, but somebody sees me as a threat where they had to go on Reddit to complain about my Google reviews. Well, but you know what? It's a badge of honor. Like someone told me, you have to have thick skin to run a business. But if people want to get a hold of you or reach out to you, talk to you about, hey, they're maybe going through the same situation, or they're looking for a therapist in your area, how can they get a hold of you?
My website, which is kimberlyboynton.com. So it's pretty simple, except for the way that my first name is spelled. And I'm sure you'll probably put a link or something in there for it.
Yeah,
But
but for people listening, you might wanna spell it out.
so it's Kimberly Boynton, and it's KYMBERLI, Boynton, BOYNTON.com.
Any social media you want them to follow or find you on, or you good there?
Same thing. It's just my name, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's just my name. No
Awesome. Well,
aliases.
I wanna thank you. No problems. Well, Kim, I wanna thank you again for reaching out to me, and it was fun having this conversation. It sounds like you just got a jealous competitor who's I mean, is this really bullying? Yeah, it's bullying. He's causing harm on purpose, but at the end of the day, it's like, you're gonna be the one standing tall at the end of it. I mean, I would take it as a badge of honor. It's weird saying, take this bullying as a badge of honor because bullying sucks. It's the intent to cause harm. But if, he's honestly, without you really thinking about it, he's going to make you a better business owner. He's going to make you run your business more. You just got to work harder at your business, get on that social media, post more positive things, like I already said. So, but
Absolutely, I agree.
all right. Well, thanks for coming on today, Kim.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Tim.
If this episode helped you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And to learn more about our nonprofit, Karate Chop Bullying, and the anti-bullying and confidence building programs we offer youth, visit karatechopbullying.org. For podcast episodes and updates, go to breakingbullying.com or email us at any time at breakbullyinghere@gmail.com. I'm Tim Flynn. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time as we keep breaking the silence on bullying.